Today I made a decision, and the decision is there is no plan B, only plan A. Plan A is the only way. And by the end of this video, you're going to see why making a drastic decision like this is of utmost importance so you can know exactly where you're going and how to get there. So what I've noticed that as in general, what we tend to do is we tend to just go from like doing surface level things, saying, and what I mean by that is that we just go say, okay, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here. Main issue is that is basically surface level. And what we tend to do is we get caught up in the motion and nothing in depth. And what I mean by that is that we, on the surface level, we do everything that we need to do. Has it ever happened to you where you just like, okay, I'm doing all of the right things, but nothing is happening? I'm just kind of like spinning my wheels like a hamster and I'm not going anywhere. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me several times. And the realization that, and I'm just trying to go from point A to point B. And while that is a good plan, the thing is you have to know what you're doing in between. I'm going to use the example of someone who's trying to break through on the internet, right? So you might say that you want to do YouTube. You may want to try Substack. You may want to perhaps potentially go viral on TikTok or Instagram. Just basically have a strong online presence. So you're doing all of the things. And when we operate from that standpoint, we end up getting stuck because we're not learning anything in depth. But in reality, you don't know anything about how social media works or that platform works. So your first step of homework would be to learn everything that you possibly can for that platform so it can help you. But honestly, if we just continue to just randomly just go from one thing to the next, hoping that something will land, it's like throwing spaghetti on a wall and hoping that it will stick, that's not really a plan. And that's what I'm realizing myself, that I have to be more organized and learning. So it almost feels like you're going backwards because you're just stopping, you're pausing, you're going slower, and you're learning what your foundation is for whatever it is that you want to do in your business. But the thing is, sometimes you have to slow down in order to go faster later. And so that's what I'm learning myself. And that's kind of like what I'm doing. And that's why I wanted to share it with you so you can do the same thing. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I said there's no plan B, and you have to be determined. Like that is your decision. Whatever it is that you want, you will make it happen. Things are just going to start coming into order for you to have those things. But one thing that I've noticed is that you have to stay on the discipline because, like I had mentioned in one of my previous videos, as soon as you make a decision, that decision is tested all the time. And I have an example for that actually. What happened was with me today. So as I was driving home with my daughter, I was just thinking, I was like, there's no plan B. This is just going to happen. And I'm steady. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to do all of the things that I usually do. And sure enough, I get a message from a past client. It was just some mess. It wasn't even really serious, but it just kind of disrupted my plans. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Every single time I make a decision, that decision is tested. And it's like literally it's frustrating, right? Has that ever happened to you? And only this time it was very different. I realized that I didn't freak out like I usually do. And what I mean by that is I was like, okay, I see the pattern. I'm starting to recognize the patterns that when I make a decision, things kind of just like shift, and that's okay. And in that moment, I realized like, you know what? How would the Naja on the other side, how would she react? And so that's definitely something that you want to do too. You basically, as you're going through your entrepreneurial journey where you're trying to level up, the key component is you must almost reverse engineer how would that version of you react to anything that's happening. You have to be so locked in to that version of you or what that potential version of you could be that you just know once you recognize the pattern, it's like, okay, I know this is happening, but my decision is made and nothing is going to shake that. And you just have to try and stay calm and collected and stay present. In all my videos, I'm always talking about how important it is to stay present. And then what's going to happen is eventually you're going to become unrecognizable to your past self. You're going to start reacting in ways that's like, oh my gosh, like old me would have like completely freaked out. New me, I see the vision because I am so locked in, and That is, and I keep using the word locked in for a reason, because you have to be so determined and so locked into your vision of what you're going to be doing, your future you. That is going to be your North Star, and that's the only way that you're going to actually be able to make it through. You almost have to become obsessed with your goal. And next, it's the simplest thing, but sometimes we don't do it, is act when you are inspired. Act when you feel inspired. If you want to do something, whatever it is in your business, if you want to go and you want to record a video, you want to record a reel, do not write it down and say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, those are the creative juices that are coming up for you to take advantage of that inspiration and act now. When you feel the inspiration, act. That is what you need to do. And you will see that only good things can happen from that. You're actually acting at the highest of your potential right then and there. So whenever you feel inspired to do something that can advance your business, definitely do it for sure. You will never regret it. So even if it feels like, oh my God, I have this idea and oh my gosh, but I don't feel like going to do it. No, you have to kind of push yourself to go ahead and do that, because it's the inspiration that's coming from within, directing you exactly to what you need to do in that moment. And so yes, to finish this video, like I said, make the plan that there is no other plan other than plan A. Plan A is the only plan. There's no plan B. You may get challenged, for sure. The challenges are going to come, but the key is to stay calm and to stay poised and to stay locked in and obsessed on your goal. And you'll see it before you know it. Things are just going to slowly start making sense. And then you're going to look back. As you're in it, we don't see the progress that we're making. But if we turn around and we look back at what we've done before, like, oh my gosh, I actually kind of see that this is kind of making sense. So don't give up. There's no plan B. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.